This is The Good Pod Guide, a podcast where I, Lauren Windle, journalist and podcast mega fan, introduce you to new podcasts you won't want to miss, as well as reminding you about some big name fan favourites. So I don't know if those who are watching on the webcam, which still sounds like really OnlyFans, but is definitely not, can see what my t-shirt says, but it says, "If the love doesn't feel like 90s R&B, I don't want it." I should be more embarrassed to tell you that I spotted an influencer at least 10 years my junior wearing this on Instagram and decided to buy it. And I definitely thought that I was immune to that kind of influence once I hit 30, but apparently not. So here we are where we are, me simulating teenagers with my dress. You listening to me talk about it. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about Freakonomics. And I think this is the oldest podcast we've reviewed. It started back in 2009. So it's basically the granddad of all podcasts. They've been there. They've done that. It uncovers some of the Western world's strangest socioeconomics. And that is massively broad, but so are the topics it talks about. They range from the upside of quitting to how to live longer to Jane Austen to parking. The co-hosts are award-winning journalist Stephen J. Dubner, who wrote the popular book series Freakonomics, from which the podcast came, and Steve Levitt, a professor of economics at University of Chicago, who was named in 2006 by Time magazine as one of the 100 people who shape our world. That is pretty big claim for Steve. Notable episodes for us at The Good Pod Guide included Why Are We Still Using Cash? Episode 261. And this dives into the topic of money and explores where physical currency may be heading across the world. Also, we liked 368, which is Where Do Good Ideas Come From, where they spoke to Dyson about how he made his amazing vacuum cleaner. And he says about how he raced home and ripped the bag off his vacuum cleaner and made a cardboard box into a vacuum box. And then suddenly it worked and it was like his eureka moment. And you can hear all about that. Also, a particular favorite of mine was episode 187, The Man Who Would Be Everything. And that is an interview with Boris Johnson when he was just the mayor of London before he, ran our country and everything. And it's just him playing up to his usual British bumbling persona in the way that we all love. Also, did you know that he collects old wooden cheese boxes? Because I do now, thanks to Freakonomics. The episode started at 5 to 20 minutes, but we have got a CSPP on our hands, guys. That is a classic successful podcast pattern where more recent episodes are somewhere between half an hour and an hour. Still not as bad as some, but that is a serious increase. It is fresh, it is data-driven, and it is looking at things which are happening in our world today. The episodes are organized by topics, so there's no particular theme or arc. You don't have to listen to a season all the way through. You can just jump in and pick out the topics which are of the most interest to you. So if you want to hear about, to be honest, virtually anything and everything, check this one out. In the next episode, I'm introduced to a school teacher who turns his pupils into Nazis, and I rant about the injustice shown to drug addicts in the Philippines, all while reviewing the podcast Behind the Bastards. For more info on the Good Pod Guide, check out the show notes. Also, subscribe, and leave a positive review. It makes a big difference.